All right. In the first half of the day, there was an election for the first half of the delegates by a CD level. Those were administered by the county recorder and done via paper ballot. With that, Mr. Trump did well and got over 50% of the delegates. By our math, he got 14 out of 27 delegates earlier today. Later in the day, they switched the system to an electronic online system that already in the beginning was having trouble. We had a lot of people that were having trouble logging in and getting on the system. Once they were on the system, they were allowed to choose a slate button. So the party set up these buttons that you could touch, and it would fill in the slate of who you wanted to vote for. And you had a button that was for Trump, and a button that was for Cruz, and Kasich, and everybody else. Now, and a unity button. Of the slate we submitted to the party, one of our very top names was Governor Jan Brewer. The Trump button was selected more than any other button. They have stats on how many times people hit the button. But when the button was hit, Jan Brewer's name was not selected. And in fact, another woman's name, not even close to hers, was shown to be on our slate, and this did not seem to be the only occurrence of this. So Governor Brewer is an example of someone on our slate who is neither a delegate nor an alternate, even though our button was selected more than any other. And again, I don't believe this is the only example of this.
My name didn't show up on the ballot.
At the same time,
on the ballot.
How do you explain this?
It's called fraud.
we have no idea how they're going to explain this. I have no idea how this could happen. We verified with the list that we submitted, and Governor Brewer's name is on the list. Now, outside of that, in the second half of the day, there were 28 delegates selected. From what we know, only 2 of those went to Mr. Trump, even though, again, the Trump button was pushed more than any other campaign's button. So, I have no idea the explanation of how this could happen. We asked to revote, we asked to look at this, and we were told they're certifying the results, and it is what it is. So, some people think it was because the Cruz and Kasich campaigns submitted the exact same slates. They got together, and those slates now got the vast majority, almost all, of the delegates. But it doesn't explain, again, how in this case, and it looks like other cases, people that we had on our slates were not receiving the votes they were supposed to receive, because the governor would have got enough votes to have been on there. So,
but my name was
her
not
name
on the
would not
ballot.
get selected. When you
wasn't on
select
the
the
ballot.
when you push the button, it's supposed to highlight all the names. It was supposed to put a little dot. It didn't happen. It didn't put a dot in the governor's box, and it looks like that was not the only person that was left off when you pushed the slate. So, we don't know exactly what the explanation is going to be right now from the party and from the voting system, but I know that right now there's a room full of hard-working Trump supporters that came to deliver delegates to Mr. Trump. And even though it seemed like a vast overwhelming of the people in that room said nay when they said closing the meeting was closed and we're all outside. So, I don't think there's any question that this is an example of Mr. Trump's delegates somehow being given to Mr. Cruz. I don't believe that in a state where Mr. Trump had a vast, overwhelming 2-to-1 advantage in the voting over Ted Cruz, that it should turn out that Ted Cruz has this vast, overwhelming number of the delegates now pledged to him when they go that are his people on his slate. So, you can ask them how it happened, because we don't know. We did what we were supposed to do. We submitted the slate as we were told, and people pushed the Trump button more than any other button, and the Trump delegates did not win.
Didn't Mr. Trump
And the people of Arizona got cheated. I got cheated. And the Trump delegates got cheated.
Well, the public.
We have people standing in
You've got.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please. Yeah, Joe.
Huh?
Yeah.
So,
when it comes to balloting.
I think I made it, did I not?
You made it.
On both of them, Unity and the Trump.
Let's be honest, though. You're the most popular guy in Arizona.
That doesn't matter.
You always make
No,
it.
that doesn't matter. It's not me. I'm very angry if what you say is true. Because they've been after Trump all along, not just across this nation. These are hard-working people, the Trump people. I don't know about any collusion or anything else. It's not just me, but I'm happy I won. I want to thank the people because now I can go and keep this back, okay? I was with this guy from day one. But it's sad when he wins this state, and we can't even get delegates to go to defend him. There's something wrong, right?
Well,
Could it have been a combination of the Cruz?
Yes.
People had a better ground.
yes,
No.
it could have been that.
Well,
What you have here too is you have a situation where it's happening across America, it's happening in Arizona, it's happening in our backyards. People are sick and tired of the backroom shenanigans going on. Mr. Trump won the state of Arizona 2-1, and he doesn't get the delegates. America's tired of this. This is exactly what they're tired of. They're tired of the insider game, and that's what's occurring here. We had an opportunity. There is such a movement right now, a middle-class movement to support a change in government at the national level and here in Arizona. It's a middle-class movement, and you've got insiders stopping them. And that's what's occurring here today. It's horrible.
How do you explain why you two were left off of the, was that an electronic glitch on their end or
From my end, I don't know. I'm okay with that. And that doesn't bother me. What bothers me more is that the Americans and Arizonans are being cheated. They're totally being cheated today by these backroom shenanigans. Mr. Trump won the state of Arizona. He should have had the majority of the voters coming out of the delegates. And for him to only get 2 is not only an embarrassment for the state of Arizona, but the people that did this should be embarrassed by what they did here today. It's an embarrassment.
What was their explanation for the top 3 candidates getting double the results of everyone else?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, it's because
what
no
I
matter what
understand,
button they push,
the
they got a
campaign
vote.
is going to explore every legal remedy to try to remedy this. I don't know if it would involve a revote or anything else, but I know we're not happy with the way this was administered, and we are exploring legal remedies. I will also say I'm very, very disappointed when you go back to the delegate selection process for the people that were going to be here today. I've always been very, very upset that we had our governor's office staffers, Governor Ducey staffers, were at these meetings pushing the Cruz slate.
That's not true.
That is very true,
That
Sal. I
is
was
not
at every
true.
meeting.
That is not true.
Sal, you did. What meeting did you go to, Sal?
Jeff, I'm telling you,
How
that
many
did
meetings
not
you go to?
occur.
Just because you love the governor, Sal.
I do love the governor.
Jeff,
I think he's done a
Jeff,
good
you were in
job.
the meeting where you saw who was on the
But
ballot.
let's not
I've
do
seen
that.
the governor's
You
staffers
should-
at the meetings, as many
right
people
now,
around here,
Jan
Sal.
Brewer wasn't
They
on
pushed
there.
the
This is
Cruz
about
slate.
being
You blew it.
cheated about
Jeff,
here.
you blew it because you didn't see her name on there and you should have seen it. She was not on there and you didn't do it and you need to admit that publicly.
What are you talking about?
You were in the back room.
Okay,
You
nice
should
Cruz
have seen
sticker,
it.
guy. Nice Cruz sticker.
You should have
Well,
seen it though.
The bottom
did
line
see it.
is
We threw a fit
Arizonans,
up there.
Americans
That's
were
how I heard
cheated
it.
today
I heard
because
that you
they
were
should
back
have
there
had
and
the
didn't see that she
delegates.
wasn't on the list.
And that's what people
We
are
saw it.
tired
We
of.
threw a
They're
fit.
really
Here's the
tired
other
of
thing,
these
Jeff. We were
backroom
grassroots
shenanigans
people, so
going
don't say
on.
this was
That's what
moderates,
occurred here.
The establishment that won this thing. These were grassroots people that worked their butts off, Jeff, working for you, putting up your signs like at 3 in the morning. Yes, we work for you.
That has nothing to
We're
do with
grassroots
it.
Nothing to
people.
do with this.
Corrupted.
My point is that wasn't the establishment that won this thing. It was grassroots people working their butts off. You look at the names. Kirk Adams didn't make it. This was grassroots.
Cruz is Canadian.
Jeff, and I support you 100%.
You don't get votes when you push the button. How? How is it that when we submit her on the slate and you push the Trump
We
button,
didn't
she didn't
let
get votes?
establishment people in Jan Brewer's establishment. That's what you're not getting. Your
And so the
people-
button knew that?
Your people couldn't get themselves to vote for it. Just face to it. Just face it. And the sad thing here's the sad thing, is if Trump wins this thing, we're going to be working our asses off for him. I want you to know that. The Cruz people, if he wins this thing, if he gets there, I promise you we'll be working our butts off. But this was not a sham, Jeff. Just be honest.
A lot of anger. We have to stick together. And I'm just a little angry at the way Trump is treated across the nation. The games that are being played. And that's sad in a way. He's a good guy. So let's see how this works. He's going to win anyway. I think this is academic because he's going to get the votes anyway. But we don't want anything to be wrong with the system.
Right.
Not just for today. So I don't know. Anyway.
Sir, what's your name and what's your position? Sorry. What's your name and what's your position with the campaign?
My name is Jeff DeWit. I'm the campaign chairman for Mr. Trump in Arizona. Again, right now,
You're a thief. It doesn't matter what I believe. Stop bringing this here.
right now,
That one right here.
yeah. Right now, I can't say how or why this occurred. I have no idea.
Soros owns the software.
The software.
All I know is it occurred. I can't say why it occurred. I can't say how. I don't want to throw the party under the bus or throw anybody under the bus right now. But it sure seems like in a state where Mr. Trump did very, very well with a 2-to-1 advantage. Every one Cruz vote, there are 2 Trump votes. And we walk in here and we have problems and glitches with the system and they certify these results. And we walk out where Mr. Cruz has an overwhelming majority in these delegates when even before they certify these results, we knew there were issues and we pointed out these issues and yet they went forward with certifying these results. I don't think it should have been done like that. In fact, I want to put this gentleman on. Tell your story.
Well, basically, I am one of the people that
Say
was
your name,
excited-
please.
Oh, John Dalton, state delegate, and I was not running for national delegate. And I was inside the room where they were actually, taking votes. People were coming in, we were typing the information on the computer. Whether it was sham or not, who knows? But I do believe that it had something to do with the software because when you did click, your name did show up on the computer list, but it wouldn't have a check.
Right. You didn't have a check next to it.
Correct. But also, there were other people on that list that appeared to be part of Cruz, Kasich, and Trump, and the Unity ticket. Multiple tickets. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Also, while we were...
The part we're talking about where it went down.
Oh, that part too. When they uploaded the National Committee Woman section of the ballot online, the system crashed. Nobody could get online when you click to actually cast your ballot. It just went offline. Nothing appeared. You go back, nothing was there. You have to re-log in. So some people had to come back if we could get them. Re-log your stuff back in. You need to cast
The people that were already logged in, do you know if their votes were counted or not counted?
The people who had clicked submit and had left, they were not counted. And they were not. But if we were able to get them back in, obviously they were able to resubmit. But a lot of those people did also is submitted votes for individual people that they knew supported Trump, knowing that when they clicked the Trump button, it wasn't clicking entirely the right people. So they would go back and actually individually go through and try to click them for who they wanted and knew were Trump supporters. And unfortunately, when they clicked submit on some of them, it didn't go through. When they would go back through, they have to remember, which 56 people they selected individually. And we just ended up with, it was just a disaster. State party, I think, needs to answer some questions about this. I was a state delegate in Michigan in previous elections. I just moved here to Arizona. And I just have to say this is completely disorganized, absolutely chaos inside. Something needs to change. And I'll hand it back over to you.
Again,
I'm out of here.
Lion Ted.
sorry. I am not here accusing the state party of doing anything wrong.
They did.
They did.
Until we know,
They rigged.
No integrity.
it's very possible that the system itself was just very glitchy. But either way, it seems like there were enough errors that Arizonans deserve a revote to make sure Arizonans deserve what we had in the morning. Arizonans deserve the county recorder with the paper ballots to do like we did this morning, where Mr. Trump did very well in the first half of the vote. I think we need the party to revote the second half. The system was obviously glitchy. There were definitely things that did not occur. Again, Governor Brewer was on our slate. When you push the button, it was supposed to vote for her, and it did not happen, and that was not the only occurrence of errors when you push these slate buttons. Mr. Trump's button was pushed. It showed on the stats. His button was pushed more than any other button. He had more supporters here voting for him than any other campaign.
By far.
And yet, Mr. Trump got a very, very small fraction of the delegates that are going to go to Ohio. Someone needs to answer for that. Someone needs to tell us why that happened. And someone needs to give all these fine Arizonans and true patriots a chance to have their voice heard and have a revote so we know what the true math is, where there are no glitches. We need to get the county recorder back here like she was this morning and do it the right way.
We find out this morning that we were going to do paper ballot, and said no paper ballot.
Weren't all the Cruz people on the Kasich ticket though as well? I saw it on the screen. It was all Cruz and Kasich. So those clicks together might have been more than Cruz.
The Cruz and Kasich campaigns did team up. They submitted the exact same slates. And so every vote for Cruz and every vote for Kasich went to the same anti-Trump delegates.
Do you have any statements from the national campaign yet?
We don't have a statement from the national campaign.
1237, it don't matter.
So, the most perfect example you will see out of this, of the system not working right, is right here with Governor Jan Brewer, who we submitted the right way on the slate, and when the slate button votes were cast, did not receive those votes. And again, there were more errors than just that. Someone needs to explain that to us. We did try to ask for a revote in there. We were denied. When they asked for a motion to adjourn, we all said nay. And yet, they adjourned the meeting. I think the meeting should reconvene. I think we should do a revote. I think something needs to happen to make sure that the true voice of Arizona is heard. There's no question there were more Trump supporters in that room than any other campaign. There's no question that Mr. Trump won a lot more votes than any other campaign.
Jeff, why don't we go to
in the popular vote.
this voting system, and I guarantee you that they can look into the activity and see if there were crashes, multiple submissions. Why aren't we looking at the third party?
I can't look at it. I have no power to look into these things. This is where the press, needs to ask the party for the explanation. I can tell you the problems. I can't tell you the why.
Do you have enough votes to go in there and reconvene the meeting? Do you have enough votes to go back in there and reconvene the meeting?
You don't have the authority to convene.
We don't have the authority to reconvene the meeting.
The body of the convention.
Chairman. Ask the chairman what he's going to do. Have you talked to him?
I plan on it.
Someone said, where were the delegates from the Unity Party? And that's not constructive. Delegates, I mean, we're all Republican, we have it done. Where was the delegates representing the Unity Party? I know, but
I see what you're saying. That's a very good question.
I'll tell you how.
It's a great question. It's a very good point. Again, I can tell you the problems. I have no explanations for how this happened.
What is Trump going to do?
I think we should just do away with conventions. Where we come and get raw.
Any other questions?
Is it a possibility maybe to have some kind of a neutral person in here at these conventions to watch over and make sure that things are done honestly from this point on? Is that a possibility?
That's what the parliamentarian was supposed to be doing. But
he didn't know what he was doing. It was obvious.
Yeah, and some rules got overlooked.
He wasn't a professional.
Even though when the people voted it, they told them if you said anything, we'll throw you out. So that's what they were telling the delegates on the floor.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, guys.
Thank you.